To exit is a dynamic from subject-object. We have to understand the logic of our ego. Our ego only exists in duality. Our ego only exists if there is a dynamic subject-object. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. In deep sleep, it doesn't exist. In dream time, it exists. In conscious time, when you are awake, it exists. It's me and I'm what I perceive, me what I think. We're always in that dynamic. And to maintain that dynamic, we have developed exit. Exit with work, exit with children, exit with sex, exit with money. And the more we are addicted to a pattern of exit, the more we're going to reproduce it until we die. We see very well how people function when they're around 40, 45, and 30 years after, when they are 70, 75. What slightly dysfunction in them when they were 40 becomes caricature. Because it's always the same circuit. I mean, it's always the same highway in your brain. So that's why it's important to renew yourself. How do you renew yourself? Well, by exiting. Always by exiting. What we do is always exiting. But there is a moment where the exit becomes so apparent. It shows us that a part of ourself is on the run. And then, if we are seeker to a degree and a bit courageous, we want to find the cause. Why do we exit? What are we running away from? Well, our basic trauma. The old trauma we had and we repressed when we were young. And we have constructed layers and layers and layers to manage those trauma. And very often, those layers are made of exit. So once again, and I think it's a good metaphor, the person, the persona, the psychological structure, is a bulletproof vest made of layers and layers of Kevlar. And so numbers of those layers are exit layers. But what are we exiting? What are we afraid of? And if we start really asking ourselves those questions, with a very aware intelligence, with a bright intelligence, we're going to find new answers. The problem with repetitive exit when we keep on doing the same thing, at the end of the day, it makes us very, very dumb. And we need a very bright intelligence to understand our nature. And an intelligence which doesn't judge, an intelligence which doesn't jump to conclusion, an intelligence which is able to understand the mechanism of exit which gets hold of us.